So the headlights in my C5 Corvette, well, sometimes they go up, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they go down, sometimes they don't. Let's see what happens when I flick this one on. Well, I got one of them. Cool. Will it go down? Hey, look at that. It actually went down. All right, well, in any case, we have a problem here. And I know that the motors are good on both sides. And the lights turn on both sides. And since the headlights share the same 12 volts, I have a feeling that it's the headlight control module. So let's give that a shot on replacing, and well, let's see what happens. There's definitely a more scientific approach to this, by the way, but we're not going to do that today. All right, first up, let's check the fuses. First fuse box that we're going to look at is under the hood. So let's take a look here and let's check for some dead fuses and just validate that that is not the case. So on this fuse box, you can see there are a number of fuses that we should check for. So we have the headlamp motors, that's 3 and 4. I'm also going to just double check that my fuses are okay for the other ones, the high beams and the low beams, although honestly, I know that they turn on, but hey, you know, for the completeness, we'll check those as well. All right, everything was good in here. I'm going to go in now to the passenger side on the floor. Alrighty, and I'm going to pull back my mat here. I'm going to pull back this guy. Where are you? Come on, you. Come on, you. All right. And we have another fuse box right over here. So let's take a look inside here. And if we don't see any bad fuses, then we're going to also look at the next step, which would be the breaker. All right, so something worth noting here is if your fuses are good, like they are in mine, then the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove the maxi fuse, or excuse me, the maxi circuit breaker, which you can see is number 54. It's a 24 amp, and it is right up top here on our fuse box. Now, in the write-up, they say number 52. In mine, it's 54. So make sure to verify on your car first before doing anything. Okay, I've removed our breaker from our fuse panel. Let's move on to the next step. Jack stands are preferred, and I like to use these ramps to at least get things started. In fact, I actually might be able to just get away with using these ramps, as well as the wheel chocks that I'm using in the back to keep things in place. This is a set from Eastwood. I'll put a link into the description. No affiliation, I don't make any money off of it, but hey, I like them and you might too. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to raise our right headlamp. So we're going to remove this little protective boot. Cool. And then you can just turn this little guy by hand, and it will eventually, ever so slowly, raise up. All right, so with our headlight up, we're going to remove the plug from the harness. Be right back. And with the plug removed from the harness, if I go to the front and just look in, there we go. There is our headlight control module. So to do that, or to get to that, we need to get from underneath the car. So let's do that. All right, so going underneath the car, we have a couple of panels that we need to get at because essentially the module is up over here. So I want to get this this little guy out primarily. So I'm going to remove a couple of screws here and then remove the panels, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got our panel off, and if I look up underneath, I can see in the distance our module right over there. But in the way is this brake cooling duct. So I'm going to see if I can just reposition this real quick, and then I'll come back. All right, I have a pretty clear shot of our module. So there are a couple of bolts, 10 millimeters, I think, and then we've got 2 plugs that we've got to disconnect. So I'm going to go and disconnect those, remove the module out, and then I'll show you precisely where the locations are. But basically it's on the bottom left and the top right when you're looking at it underneath the car. Alright, so now that it's out of the car, you can see the position of the holes. And it's a little awkward coming at it from underneath, but it's not too bad. And what I did with this is just a 3/8 drive ratchet with a small, I think it's like a 2-inch extension and a 10 mil socket. And it came right out. Alright, so let's get the new one and put it in. Alright, so this is the old and this is the new. This guy is an Amazon job. I'll put a link in the description, so if you want one of these and want to pick it up on the cheap, you can do that. Alright, let's get this thing in the car and test it out. Alright, I don't know if you folks can see that, but our new headlight control module is in. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is reconnect our harnesses and such, put our breaker back in, and we'll give it a try. So I'll be right back. Alright, everything is reconnected. The moment of truth, here we go. Hey, look at that. They both come up and come down as expected. Awesome. Alright, so taking a look at the old one, I think I know what the issue is here. The back panel is kind of warped and coming out. So this is definitely letting moisture into the module, which is a problem because electronics don't like moisture. So yeah, I mean, hey, old cars, this stuff happens. No real surprise there. Alright, so curiosity has gotten to me, and so I've decided to remove the cover and take a look at the board. And just looking at underneath, you can see all this gunk and stuff that's gotten in. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can get under here with a magnifying glass and inspect all the solder joints to make sure that they're intact, but I have a feeling that that has something to do with it. So anyway, it's done, and the new one's in there, and it works. So okay, bye-bye. Alright everyone, I hope this was helpful. Get your car back on the road just like mine. If you like this stuff, please subscribe. It would really, really help me, and I would sincerely appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.